Brown Book Series presents Raw Romance Readers and Writers Experience. Save the date, October 28th and 29th, 2022. Brown Book Series presents Raw Romance Readers and Writers Experience, October 28th and 29th, 2022 at the Westin Old Town, Alexandria, featuring some of your favorite romance authors: Brenda Jackson, Beverly Jenkins, Iris Bowling, Deborah Fletcher Mello, and so much more. The Raw Experience will include book signings, meet and greet, photo ops, vendors, shopping, surprise celebrity guests, and live performances. Registration is wide open at brownbookseries.com. Save the date, October 28th and 29th, 2022. Brown Book Series presents RAW Experience.
Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you.
Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Shay Baby, and welcome to the Brown Book Series. I'm gonna give you guys a few minutes to call your friends, let them know that it's Wednesday night, it's 6 o'clock. The Brown Book Series is on. Okay, so hurry up. I'm gonna give y'all about a good, 5 seconds. Was it 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi? Okay, that was enough for you guys to hit like, subscribe, and share. That was a lot. Whew, took a lot out of me too. Anywho, so thank you guys again for joining us. Coming to the stage right now is an award-winning author. She's such a sweetheart already, so she's automatically a friend to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, bring it to the stage, award-winning author, Miss J. N. Welsh. Hi
guys. Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, darling?
Good. I'm doing very well. So happy to be here with you.
I'm so happy that you're here with me.
Finally, it feels like forever since we scheduled, and I'm like, I can't wait to talk to her.
Girl, I'm super excited that you're here though too. Because girl, I'm telling you, when I be reading these books, honey,
I know, right?
I be like, I have you having questions. I be thinking into the mind of some things. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
And girl, because I just be like, because when I was reading one of your books, honey, and we'll talk about it in a minute, because I had a question about this book, and I need you to tell me out.
All right, I'm ready for it. Bring them on.
Right. But the funny part about it is you probably have to tell me the answer off air, because my people be like, Shay, you be too many spoilers. And I'd be like, you finished reading the book yet? Yeah, I think I read faster than them. But anyway.
Yeah. But listen, hey, the book has been out. Like, people need to get on it. Get those books in your hand. Read that. Read quick. Get that audio. Do what you got to do.
You know what I'm saying? They be playing. So, JN,
yes,
tell us a little bit about you without giving. No, we want all the spoilers on you, but nothing literary. We'll talk about the books and all that other shit. Your job later on. Okay. We want to know the day in the life of award-winning author J.N. Welsh.
Okay, I hear you. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I am here in New York. Native of the Bronx.
Okay.
Right. So, I have been writing for years. I think that if you talk to any author, they'll tell you they've been writing since they were young. But a day in the life for me is writing. I'm so happy to be able to do something that I love so much, but it's just been a joy to sort of see my career sort of grow over the past couple of years, meeting so many great authors. I know like the pandemic really impacted us, but for the most part, it's just such a pleasure to do something that I love and to really put books in the hands of, friends and fans, really. In the Bronx, I am just normally like chilling. I'm so into self-care. I'm so into, making people happy. If you ever go to my Instagram, you always see very positive things because I want people to feel like happy. I want people to know that they, like they're welcomed. If that
Right.
makes sense,
That makes
and I think that's also something that I try to accomplish in my books.
You accomplished them very well now. Very well.
Thank you.
So your books.
hmm
Okay, first of all, are you indie published or are you traditionally published?
I am both. So indie published. I think I started independently publishing in 2005. I sort of wanted to have a bucket list book. It was like if I die tomorrow, I have a book out. That's mine, right?
Right.
After that, I was just like hooked. I was like, oh, I went to all this school to do this, that, and the other thing. How can I explain writing to anyone? But I took the chance. I took the chance in 2013 and really started to pursue writing, full time. And ever since then, it's just been like,
It's been hot.
all eyes ahead. Yeah.
So you're what we call a hybrid author then.
A hybrid author. And I
Okay.
also have books with Karina Press.
Okay.
They were my first traditionally published publishing house. So Karina Press is, with her. Yeah. So it was really nice to have that experience with a traditionally published author, and my editor, Stephanie Doing, was so excited about the books. So that just made me really, really happy to publish with them.
So how hard was it for you to get published though?
It took a long time.
What's a long time, girl? What's a long time?
Well, okay, let's think about it. So 2005, I wrote one book, and before I indie published it, which was not really acceptable at the time, I had sent it out to publishing houses. And this is the time when you printed the whole book, you wrote a letter, you sent the whole thing, and then you waited like sometimes months before you got any information back. So then I kind of stopped and was like, okay, well, I got some feedback. Some people took really like a lot of time to write a nice letter and tell me that, I'm not there yet, keep going, because I didn't have any editor. I didn't have like anything like that I have now, any kind of team, copy editing, proofreading, all that to help me with that book. It was just me. And I got really great feedback about it. Definitely it wasn't probably ready to be published at the level that I am now. And I think with every book you get better, but it was really a great learning experience. And it gave me the confidence to sort of pursue writing full time, which I did in 2013. So I would say from 2013, when I really kind of made the choice, 2014 was when I really put all my resources into, going to conferences, learning, education, meeting people, to 2018, I think it was that Thanksgiving fall that I had gotten my first publishing contract. And it was like, I think I was that summer I like had a meltdown and was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I need to stop because it's been years and nothing has happened. And I think that I need to give up. And I feel like I wasted my time and I'm just going to stop. And then people were like, what are you doing? You have to keep going. Nothing ever comes from quitting. And so as I tell you, I have really great friends and family around me because they have been exceptionally supportive, and I couldn't ask for a better group of people in my life. So yeah, 2014 is 4 or 5 years. That's a long time for some people to wait in the publishing industry. I think that's about the right time.
That's a lot. So was it like a contest they was doing or anything like that? Or you just went the good old fashioned way and just started submitting your stuff and just...
Yeah, it was. Karina Press does I think a couple of publishing houses do like this Twitter thing. I forget what it's called now, but they do like this Twitter thing every so often where you can pitch your story, and you can only do it in like 2 sentences or something like that, and then you send it, and if it gets liked by the editor, then you can contact the editor and send them your draft and they can look at it. It's a really like direct shot to an editor based on just maybe a couple lines of what your book is about. Yeah. And so they may like it if you send it or not, but you do get an opportunity to have a professional editor from a publishing house read it, give you feedback. And that's how I got that sale.
That's what's up, girl. So look, okay, so when they hit you up and was like, guess what? You're gonna be signed to our publishing house. Like, what was the first thought that you had in your mind?
I was really surprised because in the publishing industry, they say you get the call, quote unquote, the call. And so when the editor called me, I thought she just had questions for me about the novel. And she was like, no, we want to buy your book. And I was like, oh my God, like, what's happening here? Like, I was so surprised. It was such a great day for me. And of course, like, as soon as you get that, you're like, oh my God, how do I navigate this? Like, I you always think that it's going to happen to you, and then it doesn't. And then when it doesn't, you're just like unprepared. So I was doing a reading at, there's a thing in the city called in Manhattan called Lady Jane Salon. They no longer have it because of the pandemic. Things didn't go really so great. But I was doing a reading there, and my agent, Sarah Younger, happened to be there. And I was reading from my holiday book that I had self-published called Gigolo All the Way. And it, people really, really received it very well. And like within like 2 months, I had a publishing contract and an agent. And somebody who was going to that previous summer quit. So I know. Could you imagine if I quit? Like, all those great things wouldn't have happened. But I know. So it's something that I always try to tell authors, like, no matter what kind of criticism you get, just keep going, because every time you write something, you're just going to become a better author.
Right.
Never give up on your dreams, because you can do them at some level, whatever level it is. If you keep going, you will ultimately get it.
I absolutely love that. Now, you was doing indie, and like you said, now you're a hybrid author. Which one do you prefer?
That's a good question. I love indie because you have so much more freedom and time and control. You can change your deadline. You can change your deadlines based on how much you want to write or how much you've written. You can change your release day. When it comes to traditionally published, your deadline is your deadline.
It's your deadline.
You're in the process, it's like developmental edit, copy edits, proofreading. You're done. Bye. And then it's like you got a release date, and it's like, and you're just trying to accommodate with marketing how to get your, get it out there that your book is coming out. So you have a lot less control when it comes to the process, and deadlines always feel oppressive, no matter who you are. It always feels, some people do really great with deadlines. But I think that it sometimes hinders the writing. You don't feel as free because you don't have the time. But if you had ultimate time, you'd never finish the book, right?
Right.
Deadlines can be good, but you have to, as an indie author, you have to be really good at setting them for yourself, because you can postpone for a year, 2 years if you want, and people are like, "Where's this author?"
Right.
So I think I like both. I like doing both of them because I'm somebody who needs to be like, hello, chop chop, you need to get the books out.
Okay.
Be like ideating for like, oh, and what if they did this, and what if they did
right.
And then there's a series, and then there's a spinoff, and then it's world adjacent, and it's like it can go on forever. So, but I like doing both, and I'm glad that I do both, because when I'm feeling fatigued from one, I can always jump into the other.
Okay, that's what's up. I love it. We're glad you're doing both as well. And right, and speaking of jumping into the other, it brings us to the first segment here at the Brown Book Series called Name That Book. What would take a synopsis or a character, if we have for the series to be the main character, or a passage from the book or something related to that book of yours, and you have to name that book.
I have to name it. So I'm going to hear it and I have to name it.
Yes, I'm going to give you the clues to the book, whether it's a character, a synopsis, a passage, or something like that related to one of your books. And you have to give me the name of the book.
Oh, dip. Okay. I'm ready. Give it to me.
Okay, good. That's what they say. That's what they say. Let me put my glasses on so I can hear it, baby. She says she rigged it.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Ready. Oh, look at you. Cute.
Girl, okay, thanks, girl.
I like the spectacles.
Thank you, girl. I clean up a little bit. I tell people I got a wham, so at least make them halfway cute, honey. Cause the eyes be like, really, girl? I'm like, yeah. All right. Now, the light be glaring. My professors be like, Shay, do you have to say everything? I'm sorry, y'all. The light is perfect.
I know it is. Lighting is.
All right, girl.
Okay.
All right. Name that book. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Here we go. His actions caused their prenuptial agreement, like no other, to swing into high gear, and with it, a glimmer of hope. Name that book.
Okay.
His actions
is prenuptial agreement.
Yes, they had a prenup.
I'm going to go with Before We Say Goodbye.
Let me say something. This book made me cry.
I know, this one was a good one.
I love my second chance love is my favorite trope anyway. Like, I just love it. I especially love the marriage when they already married and they're trying to, you know what I'm saying, work out the marriage or whatever. So that I absolutely love that. And this book made me cry. And I was just like, because I'm the type of person that sometimes when I read about what the book is about and I really want to get into it, I'm like, what he do? Why he do that? And I was confused because, in the beginning, you was talking about, well, I'm saying you because you wrote the book, of course. Oh. But I was just like, did he really have to end this? Like, what is he trying to resolve? What is going on?
Right.
Girl, so where was your mind space when you wrote this book?
I think what happened was, okay, so when it came to Before We Say Goodbye, the setting was what sparked the book. I had where was I? I was at RWA when we were in California. I think we were in San Diego for that one.
Yeah, I love San Diego.
And afterwards, I decided that I was going to, by myself, drive up the California coast because I had friends all the way up to San Francisco. So I drove and I stopped at all these different places, saw a couple of friends, but I basically did that trip in like a day and a half. And everywhere I stopped, I started to, as I was just driving, you start thinking, and I was like, it just like the ocean, the Pacific Ocean just really sparked so many ideas. And I was like, what if like a couple took this trip? This is a gorgeous trip, but and then I was like, but why would they take this trip? And then, like, it's like a call and response to yourself. And it's like, well, what if they had to take this trip? And then I'm like, well, why would they have to take this trip? Right. And then it started to just kind of form from that. And I'm not married myself, so it's hard to write a married couple and say, this is exactly why this would happen. So I asked a lot of friends who are married, because marriage isn't easy. I think that people see it and they see, oh, I'm with someone, I'm not alone, and think that marriage is like so easy, but it's not. It's really a lot of work.
I tell everybody, you have to be anointed to be married, baby. Yes. This job here this ain't no joke, baby. This is not no joke,
right? I was like, and it's like you're just not going to separate. Like you have, like if you don't, it's almost like if you don't pay attention, like you can be here and then you're just going like this. You don't even know that it's happening.
You don't even notice it because you're too comfortable in the relationship. Right. So you're not noticing anything.
That's so amazing to me. And so I'm like, well, what if you catch it then? Like, how do you get back together? You know what I mean? And I think that with this couple, even though that wasn't explored in the book, I feel like they wanted to, when they were making that prenup, was just to sort of go like just to remember, like at some point, if they were going to, you know, lose touch with each other, that they would have something to go back to
Right.
help them to get back to each other. I think that they it's almost like they foresaw that if they were to ever, which they never thought they would, right?
Right.
Because they were so in love. But if it did happen, how could they get that spark again to like bring them back
Rekindle.
together?
Yeah.
I thought that was just really neat because they didn't just get married and were like, this is going to be wonderful the whole time. We would love it to be. But if anything happened, I never want to leave you. So we're going to do this prenuptial, this agreement that if it happened, that we would at least try to get back to each other, which I think is really, really neat.
I thought it was really neat too.
Yeah.
Whew, all right. That was like, that's my favorite book of yours. I just want you to know.
I'm glad.
Because girl, I was in tears.
Yeah, I got a couple of, that one made me cry, and I was like, oh,
yeah, because I was like,
cry in a good way.
Yeah, the girl made me want to go downstairs and talk to my husband and kiss him. Right. Like, what you doing, boy? What you was reading?
Oh,
girl, it's a mess. Okay, next up.
Next up.
Mm-hmm. Character. Rodney Chestnut.
Rodney is from one of my favorite books, Pining Over You.
Pining Over You. Yes, Rodney.
Yes. Like, Rodney is my beautiful, like, he's that hey black man, intelligent, gorgeous. I mean, sexy. Mm-hmm. I love me some Rodney.
Girl.
I love that book because it's a Christmas book, and
yes,
farm, and it's like all the things that you love about Christmas are there. The baking, the family. I love that book.
Girl. All right. Yeah. I loved it too. Because Rodney, also his fine ass. All right. Next up, name that book.
Okay.
He's very into his fans. In fact, that's why this guy is all over the place and not just in the States.
Oh, yes. I know this one. In Tune.
In Tune.
My Enemies to Lovers.
Enemies to Lovers. Yes.
I love them. Leona and Luke.
Yeah. Luke fine ass too, honey.
I know. I love a man with rhythm.
Me too.
A man with rhythm is I just love it.
I'm the same way.
Man with rhythm all the time.
You was talking about rhythm too, because honey, I heard that your favorite thing to do is dancing and whining. I think she danced with a drink in her hand. That's what we do.
That's my thing. I love to dance. I was dance to any kind of music. I used to dance belly dance. Be out there with my big belly, do my little dance. It was a beautiful thing. And I went to Brazil, and I was at Carnival. Anything that's like music related or music centered, like I love it. I think it's like before I was even born, I feel like I loved it. But my father's a DJ, and so it's like I grew up with music my whole life. So anything music centered and dancing centered is like everything. And then wine, of course. Of course.
Girl, you got to come back over here, honey, and belly dance for us one day, baby. You know what I'm saying?
I will. I always wish that I had pictures like at the ready, because it's like so beautiful. Like it's not like the really like flirty belly dance. It's like it's called American tribal style belly dance, and it's like really grounded, and it's like this. It's based on a community of women dancing improvisation dance based on cues and formations. So it looks like it's choreographed dance, and it's so in sync. It's so perfectly in sync, but it's all improvisation. You just have to know the vocabulary.
Whoa.
I know. It's something that, oh my God, when I used to dance, people used to say, Jen, your smile just could make the crowd happy. I used to that's how much I love dancing. So yeah.
I love it.
And the wine.
The wine is a given.
Right.
Wine is a given. All right. Name that book.
Okay.
Hiring an elite gigolo from escort service isn't exactly her fairy tale. Name that book.
That's That's the fan favorite. Gigolo all the way.
Gigolo all the way. I said, first of all, I ain't heard the word gigolo in years. Since I was
Right?
little.
It's an escort now. It's like escort.
Yeah, but it was so funny because when you said it, I instinctively thought about my grandma Lois, rest in peace, my girl.
Grandma.
Girl, no, honey. She'd be like, yo, gigolo. I'm like, grandma. So when I read the book, I was like, I ain't heard the word gigolo since I was a little girl.
Right? It's such a term. Like, I remember, yeah, he's such a gigolo.
Yeah, no, gigolo,
like,
honey.
what do they call them nowadays? I feel like old. Player. Yes, exactly.
Oh, player. Oh, hoe. All that, honey.
Yeah.
I hear sleeping all these women. Oh, hoe and shit. Look.
Yeah.
Girl, what made you write a book about a damn gigolo, B?
I'm telling you, the inspiration is always so funny. So
yeah, who inspired this book? What gigolo inspired this book?
Do you remember there was a show on cable, and what was the name of the show? It was about these guys in Las Vegas.
Oh,
what was it? I think it was on like Showtime or something like that. I don't know if I can say the name, but they would always show them with all their clients.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking about a Hangover. It's a show, not a show.
It's like a reality show.
What?
I know.
About the gigolos?
It was about escorts, and you would pay them like $500 for like a night, and they would have sex, but they would have sex because it was how they got away with it not being called hookers is because it was consensual.
Hookers are consensual.
Right, but they were escorts. So they were able to get past that by saying the sex is consensual so that they don't have to, so that the sex was not necessarily a given, even though it appeared that it was.
So, gotcha. Because when you're picking up a hooker, you're picking her up for sex. That's it. You're paying for sex. But with an escort, you out on a date.
Exactly. They're just there to make you feel good. And then
they go there to make you feel good.
Yeah. So that's how they got away with it. They didn't have to pay all these other extra fees. I think business wise, I don't know. But anyway, I used to watch that show. It was really popular. I'm gonna get the name before the end, but that was what inspired it because there were so many great stories that they had about why a woman would get an escort and how they felt about dating, marriage, and having an escort for a weekend. And a lot of the women that they got were really business women who were just like, I don't have time to date, I don't have a husband, and I just want to have my needs fulfilled and go out on a date. And and then after that it's like, bye.
Girl, how did you research this, huh?
I watched it.
No, so you just watch. She's not watching. So you watching that was the only research that you did. Like you didn't like get in contact with no escort services.
No, I'm very good on the keys.
Okay,
I can find you can go to community groups or meetups and things like that. Like I didn't go to any meetup or anything like that. I had watched the show before that ever happened because it was just an interesting show.
Right.
And then of course I'm allowing myself out because I was enjoying watching these people have sex.
That's the
but it was just so interesting. They all had their own different character and they all had these great stories. One was with a client for a month because she had cancer and she just wanted to have somebody that was close to her. And these kinds of stories were the ones that I really liked. You know what I mean? Because I'm you don't have.
Can I binge watch that? I need to find that show.
Yeah, I'm gonna Google it for you.
Help me find it. Oh, okay, so we go, girl. I love. Okay, cool. All right. Okay. Next up, name that book.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna be thinking about Gigolo all night. Anyway, name that book.
It's such a great one.
It is. Double bassist for the Philharmonic by day, but nice. She's Queen Rowe, an underground DJ with a growing following.
Okay,
Name that book.
is In Harmony.
In Harmony.
The most recent installment in the Back on Top series, In Harmony. Yes.
Yeah, so tell everybody a little bit about In Harmony without giving too much of a spoiler.
Okay. So there's a double bassist named Nia Monroe, and she is trying to basically have two careers. One is as double bassist for the Philharmonic, so she's doing a classical career in New York City, but she loves DJing, and that is sort of like where her heart is. And so in the book, her arc really follows her trying to make amends with how she can possibly do these two things together, and also her legacy, because, and I'm not going to spoil this for you, she's somebody, she should be doing it. How do I not give this away? I'm not going to say it. You'll come to find out that this is part of her legacy. So it makes sense, but she has to figure some things out. I think I said okay.
That's why, I told you they get mad at me, because it's like, yo, it's so much you want to tell about the book, but you end up like and to me, because the person can tell me everything about the book, and from their opinion, right. I still read the book, because I'm like, and I get something different in it, because the banter between the characters is what to me makes the book.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, okay, because a couple of my friends read the book first, and I was like, okay, I'm interview Miss Welsh, and they was like, you gotta read the book, read the books. And I'm like, okay, I didn't start with it In Harmony.
Right.
I started with the book that made me cry.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, I'm not reading no more of they all like this. I can't take it. I'm just being honest. I was like, oh, I just my head hurt.
I know.
But then, because I was in the beginning of it, and I was like, they really finna have, because it looked like they was really gonna say goodbye. Like,
I know. Yeah.
I was like, I've never read a book.
And you're like, this is romance, right? Like, there's a happily ever after. And
I was thinking that, but I was so, girl, I'm telling you, I was so caught up in it that I forgot there was supposed to be romance.
Yeah.
Because now I'm up here like, okay, are they going to get together? Are they going to stay together? Because then I was thinking to myself, Shay, I've never read a book where it's not a happily ever after. Right. Where it's like, okay, we gonna love, kiss, and say goodbye.
Yeah.
I was like, if they do this to me, if she do this to me, I'm gonna probably cut my ass out. Like, I can't do this. So
no, I would never.
You did.
My fans, and trust me, I will take you through the journey. I will make sure that you are okay.
You can't do me like that. Don't do me like that. I can't do that.
Yeah, that one was intense for sure.
It was so intense, but it was so good.
Yeah, I really too.
It was so good. I'm saying, one of my friends, she said, "Bitch, this made me want to go find my true love." I told her, I know her husband was standing next to her. She makes me anyway. So I was agreeing with him. He was like, "Really, Shay?" I'm like, "Sorry, I forgot you were looking at me."
Right.
He gonna see this like, really? She's still tripping. We love you. Okay, so In Harmony.
Yes, ma'am.
So how did you come up with the trope for In Harmony?
So In Harmony was part of a series of
book 3, right?
It's book 3, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I always like one of the things that I think that you can say about my writing is that I love to write about women of color thriving in unexpected places. Because sometimes, we do things that are really kind of like tangible, these these characters that, we want to make sure that even though they're unique, that they're still universal. So, we'll pick different kind of characters.
Very with the EDM music. I was like, oh.
I was like, listen, you remember, like, we've been DJing forever, and I had to, I believe it was book 2, I made sure that I put a lot of the history of DJing in there, because I wanted people to realize that, disco is what you hear, is what, kind of spawned this like new EDM culture. It's just this electronic dance music, like everything sort of evolved.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to make sure that I showed that, because that character was very much so into connecting the past and the future, the present, the future, when it came to music. And so in harmony, like there are, people like Esperanza Spalding, who people know if they listen to jazz, but they don't necessarily
Mm-hmm.
see stories about them. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna make a double bassist who also is as brilliant as Esperanza, but also as amazing as, like, a Spinderella, or a
Right.
Cassie, or whoever, you know what I mean, and put it together, and have her have this legacy that she's kind of running away from, but is also keeps coming into her life. And so she meets this really great agent who's like A-list agent, like has maybe
Mm-hmm.
5 people on his list, and he's like really infatuated by her because she's like the missing link in his legacy for what he wants to achieve in his career. And in their connection, the love story starts.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
That was a real good book. I said, okay then, Hunty. Let me go to a couple of raves, couple of
Yeah.
raves. This is cute.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Speaking of love story, brings us to the next segment here, the Brown Book series called "Who'd You Rather." Where we take heroes from a few of your books and we pit them against each other, and you let me know who you want a one night stand with, baby.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about up against the wall, letting them draw fall, baby.
Really?
Yes, no
Okay.
marriage, no nothing. Leave it on a nightstand, baby. That's what we talking about. Yes.
All right. Okay.
All right.
All right.
First up, who'd you rather? Tommy Boombox Mills or Isaac Zazzle Van Sant?
Oh, this is
yes, it's tough there.
oh my gosh. These are two good ones.
Yes. Tommy or Isaac, baby.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Isaac.
Isaac, why Isaac?
I'm gonna go with Isaac because I feel like he's been through some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really do. And I think that when people come out on the other side of things and they're still successful, I think that they can be really great partners. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I really feel like they can be really great partners because they've learned so much about themselves. And so they're really like in rhythm, he's so giving and he's so patient, even with people who think that he's not going to be successful, or that he's going to slip, which he might, and we don't see his whole life. But if you've ever been with anybody who has had any challenge with addiction, it's a slippery slope,
right?
Thing in the environment that you've been in that cause you to be that way, so, or to have access to things. So I think that he's so patient and he's so kind, and he still really wants this woman in his life who he met just as he sort of like was about to hit sort of like rock bottom. And it's just so nice to see them come back together. So I think that this is what book was challenging, I think, for a lot of people, because I think that they didn't really like know how to receive it, but I really like him as a character. I think he's so sexy too.
Okay, and you think he'll be good to spend the night with? Okay,
yeah, I think he'd be like a real cuddle bug.
Okay.
Yeah, he'd be like, cuddle you, like stroke you, make sure that you're okay. Ask for a glass if you want a glass of water.
Oh my God! Give her some water, honey. Give her some water. All right,
glass of wine.
Always the wine, honey. Come with the wine. Oh, Tommy boy. All right. Who'd you rather? Luke Anderson or Rodney Chestnut?
Oh man, this is hard.
I know, girl. I'm telling you, one of the authors, I did this to her off air. She was like, "You ain't shit." I was like, she was like, "Shay, you don't have to do that." I was like, "Well, honey, I just trying to figure out who you want that down."
Oh my gosh. because Rodney's like your past, and he's so
Yes.
luscious and velvety,
Yeah.
and
Mm.
Luke like will bathe you. Like, come on, that's not nice.
It's not nice. I know. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
They're both
all
fine
right,
as hell too. They
they
fine.
are.
Brothers is
But
fine. Baby.
I'm gonna go with Rodney.
Okay.
I know people are not gonna believe that I chose Rodney over
I'm
Luke.
not believing you chose Rodney over Luke. Rodney's fine as hell. He is.
Yes,
But Luke, honey.
Luke is quite the amazing. But I just think every time I think of Rodney, I think of him and him. Who's my character?
For Rodney,
Who's Rodney's love interest? How can I not remember her name right now?
hold
It's
on.
my book, right?
Sable is not. Hold on. Let's see. Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me.
Sasha. Okay.
Sasha Rodney.
I believe so. It's Sash.
Is it Sasha? Not the Sable chick. Okay.
I think it's Sash.
Okay.
If it's not Sash,
you like you don't care. It's gonna be you that night.
I mean, for real though. But I just remember them on the Rock, like where like he had planned. I don't know to tell everybody what he did, but he had planned some stuff for her, and they were still there, and then they were up on the Rock, and it was nice.
Okay, so Rodney is. I'm going with Luke.
Okay, because he bathes you, right?
Hey, what?
Because he bathes you. He bathes
because
you.
yes, I'm with Luke.
So
I'm
with Luke. He got the nice house. I mean,
look like he just sound like he can.
Yeah, he got it
all the way. I'll say yes. Okay, Luke. All right, last up. Who'd you rather?
Okay.
Dustin King or Nicholas Cole Partridge?
Oh my God, Cole, forget it. I like easily Cole. I'm sorry, Dustin's mysterious.
He's Dustin is sexy as hell.
He is sexy. He's that billionaire sexy.
He's sexy, yes.
But Cole is like, whew.
Cole is the escort. He know what to do.
He know what to do. His skill level is like
up there,
way up there.
I absolutely. I'm with you on that. Mm-hmm. All right, author's moments. What's your most urgent priority for the rest of the year outside the literary world? Well, we can do both.
Outside.
Well, outside, and we can do in and outside.
Okay, so inside, I'm writing book 2 in my soccer series.
Mm-hmm.
Book 1 is coming out in February. So I'm writing book 2 now, and the deadline is like now, like December 1st now.
Yeah.
So that's really what has consumed me. The other thing is getting ready for the holidays. Like, this is my favorite time of year, and like I can't believe like 2 weeks.
Girl, this year over. This year is over.
It's over, and I'm like
over.
I wish that as much as I want this time of year to come fast, I want it to, like, when it comes to like linger a little bit, and it never does. It's just like boom, boom, boom. Here's the new year. We're waiting for summer.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. And when June, I tell everybody, once June gets here every year, like this year over. Because for me,
or is it going faster?
It is going faster.
I feel faster. Like it's faster.
Yeah. Way faster.
And not just because I'm getting older. It's just because it's going faster.
It's going faster. Yeah. For me, I think my years are going faster than my body is adapting to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that is crazy. Which may be a good thing, because I'm like, all right. But then, I'm like,
yeah, that whole, and I think that's why people be saying, 20, what is it? 30 is the new 20.
Yeah.
30. Like, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, and the grandmothers are getting younger and younger.
Right? They're still up in the club.
Yeah, I'll be like, all right then, honey. Everybody in the club. The child, the mama,
the grandma, and the grandma. All there sipping gin and juice.
Oh, get toe up.
I've seen it. Like, listen, it's fine. I just like, if people, you just gotta enjoy your life because it goes very fast.
That's it. Enjoy your life. I'm with it. All right, cool. So that's your most priority, urgent one for the rest of the year. Just to
I gotta get ready.
And I'm with you, boo. Gotta get ready for this. All right, and getting ready and being a novelist. What did you learn a little too late?
And being a novelist, what did I learn a little too late? I think that there's space for my books too. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's not even too a little. Well, I think that there's space. I would say that there's space for my books too, because you have to, like in the beginning when you start writing, I think that you're learning from what you've read and people telling you the different types of things that you should be writing, the different tropes, what's trending. And you just have to remember that your books and what you're writing is like really important. And I don't even think that it's too late. So maybe this is not like the best answer, but I think that I would love to have learned earlier so that I could have, started my career earlier as well.
Okay.
And try to forge like a career, because I started in 2005, but I didn't write my next book or get, picked up by a publisher until 2013. That's a lot of time. You know what I mean? To be like, okay, you did the bucket list book. Now what do you have? Like what else can you do? You know what I mean? How else can you, get better? I think it took me a really long time to kind of feel like there was a substantial career here, because I wasn't sure if what I wrote was what people would want to read. So I'm glad that I'm still doing it, but I wish that I had learned that earlier.
Okay. Well, hey, you know it now, so you're good.
Yeah.
All right, author's moments. If you could have tea with one fictional character of yours, who would it be?
Of mine.
Of yours.
I'm gonna say Leona Sable.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Leona Sable because I feel like she's like my hero character. She's so sharp, and she knows her stuff, and she has worked so hard to be like the best in the business. And even though she doesn't believe that her reputation is going to hold up with all the things that happened to her with her ex and things like that, I think that just the way that she's received and supported and loved on, I think says a lot about her character. So I would just love to sit down and talk with her and be like, girl, how you did that?
Girl, how you doing? That's what you want to.
Like what's like, give me the tea on how I can be and do that too. Right. You know what I mean? I think that I would love to have drinks.
Okay.
Tea is nice, but I would totally love to have drinks with her.
Long Island iced tea.
Absolutely.
Okay. I get it. All right, all these moments. If you could sit down with your 15-year-old self, what would you tell her?
Oh my goodness. This is such an emotional question.
I know, right?
You don't think like 15 is like you're trying, like I think you're in middle school, no? Like trying to figure your life out.
Yeah, you trying to figure out everything.
Oh, that's tough. I think that I would tell her like, I think that I would tell her that she's okay. You know what I mean? Right. I don't know. Like, that's such an emotional question. I really would tell her that, like, she's okay. Like, she's a Black girl who rocks. Like, even though she's young and it doesn't seem like, she has what everybody else has, or, I think that it would just be nice to tell her, you are okay. Mm-hmm. You're the person that God made. You have things to do. You have people to love on. You have things to share. You're a beautiful soul. Like go and make all the friends and have all the experiences. Oh, little JN. Such a cutie. Aww. Your 15-year-old self be still in you. So you have to say it to yourself all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
She need to.
Yeah, my 15-year-old self, she shows on my face. I'll be like, you 15, that's when you roll your eyes, your neck.
I know. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I was so sassy. In like
Mhm.
first grade, like they used to always be calling my mom, talking about she giving too much lip. I was
Too
one of
much.
those. I was one of those. But you know what? I still got good grades, and that's why they couldn't do anything.
Me too. They can do nothing with me. Nothing. They was like, they like, we want to suspend her ass,
Oh
but
my God. Yes. But she's doing fine in school, you know.
Yeah, we need her to do to run track this weekend. We need her to do this. It's well, I had some problems. I have
I
brothers.
remember I was so fresh.
Girl, me too.
I would get it so much because I was just so fresh. And people don't believe me when I say that that's how I was because I'm such a nice person now. But I was pretty fresh.
They believe me. When they hear people say Shay has smart mouth, they believe it. They're like, yeah, I can see that. I'm like, what?
Right?
Whatever. At the moment,
Okay.
what would your pen name be?
Like other than J.N. Welsh?
Yeah.
Because
J.N. Welsh, that's a pen name, but isn't it your initial?
My name, yeah.
It's your name, yeah.
It's my name. It's just the initials.
Right.
I had like a couple that I had written down that I was holding for like, other types of books, but I think that it would be something like really cutesy. And this time I would choose something that was like my last name that was earlier in the alphabet because I'm all the way down at the bottom when it comes to like when you're looking on lists.
Yeah.
W comes all the way at the bottom. So I would pick something that was like, like Natasha Beacon.
Oh, that's a pretty name.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, Natasha Beacon. Okay, Natasha.
I think that's one on my list. And that's because there's a trick of like your middle name with a street that you lived on.
That's hot. I like that. That sounds good.
They said that's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
So if you ever see something with Natasha Beacon, it might be me.
Okay, I'm with with all of it, baby. I'm with all of it. So, what made you shorten your name? Your name is Jennifer, correct?
Yes.
So, what made you shorten it to JN instead of just Jennifer Welsh?
I just felt like it was just so long when I would look at it. Like my first book has my whole government. Yeah. Like, it's like the initial too. And so I wanted something that was just like look just a little bit more concise on the page. It also was a time when there were a lot of authors who were doing well, who were just doing it with using their initials. And so I sort of like, again, it's like one of those things where you're like, oh, the bigger authors who are doing well are doing this. So let me mimic it my own way. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's how that started. Because, I just was like, I'll just do the initial and my last name. And just let it still be me, but it's just not that whole thing on a page, which is really long.
Okay, I'm with it. I'm with all of it. Look, I'm with all of it. Author's moments. What's the one dream that you've tucked away?
One dream. So I haven't tucked any of my dreams away. That's the thing.
Oh, you just living that life.
I still leave hope for everything. I still want to find my own boo. I still want to like have a house that I can invite all my friends to, not just like a small one. I still want to have my dog, which is like a big dog.
Yeah,
Great Dane. I love those dogs. So I haven't tucked them away at all. I haven't tucked my dreams away. As long as I'm breathing, I feel like there's still a shot.
Listen, it's still a shot, girl.
It's still a shot.
You want that man? Go on and get him, boo.
I'm gonna go get him.
He's gonna find you.
Right.
He's gonna find you. Yeah. So, girl, it's gonna be cute, honey. It's gonna be cool.
Gonna be cute.
But just know, marriage. Look, just know, marriage is not what you.
I know. Don't I know it, girl?
B. You talking about roses? When they say roses really smell like boo boo, it was damn right.
They
like,
are, yes,
is this the roses? Yeah. So
I mean, you really have to like, you have to be hunkered down to be like, listen, I'm going to. It's something that you have to make work. You have to work
yeah,
at it all the time.
it's
So
the
you have to be
communication.
ready to roll up your sleeves and do it.
And work, it's a communication thing. It's a mind thing and it's a communication thing. Your mind has to be made up that divorce is not an option.
Right.
You love me, I love you. Boy, you better get in here and get your shit together and let's work this thing out. Like, what's the song? Monica and Usher did it. Let's work it out.
Yes, let's work it out.
Let's
And it
work
can
it
be
out.
ugly sometimes. Listen,
Yeah.
you heard all the songs. The songs have told you how bad it could get and what we got to work through. So
You gotta work through it. Now, I'm not an advocate for somebody beating your ass. Now, he in there whooping your ass and shit like that. Now,
there are like breaking points.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, those are breaking
okay.
points. But when you got a person that's genuinely good to you and may have a few flaws that you might be like, you know what I'm saying? Those real irreconcilable differences without nothing from the outside world, meaning another broad, some children, and his fist upside your head.
Right.
You know?
Right. Exactly.
If it can be worked out, do it. But if it can't, don't waste your time, baby. No. That's just what
I'm writing it all. Writing it all down.
Writing it all down, honey. Girl. And
I love to hear advice from people because I just like take all this. I'm like, life is a learning experience, and I'm just learning. I'm just getting everything ready for, when it happens. And I'll just be like, listen, my mother tells me the same thing. Like, listen, love does not have a time limit.
It don't, girl. It don't, honey. I love it. All right. If you were hosting a dinner party and could invite 5 people from any era, who would it be?
Any era.
Any era. Dead or alive.
This is an interesting group of people. I would definitely want to meet Jane Austen.
Oh.
I would definitely, I know, because she's like romance. Mm-hmm. And she's like I don't know if people say the godmother of romance, but I would love to meet at a dinner party her. Angie Thomas. Miss Shonda. I would like to meet, and then the other 2 people would be like maybe like my grandparents. Okay. I've never met my grandparents because they all died. They all died before I was born.
Oh damn!
Yeah, so I would like to maybe have one from each parent.
Okay,
just to ask them questions.
Be like, what's up, Grandma? What happened?
I mean, I think like that would be great because I always hear people talk about having a grandparent, and like I don't have that experience, so I don't understand how to, like it's their like you're their legacy, so it's like they treat you in a way that no one else will ever treat you. You know what I mean? Because it's like the child of my child. It's so weird, right. So I think that those relationships are really special. I never got a chance to experience it, so I think that I would like to like meet them and be like, "Hey, girl, like in your time," and just talk to all these people about different things,
Yeah, it's
definitely not a cohesive group.
It's not, but there's good thing too. And I hate that you missed out on your grandparents because, fortunately for me, my great grandmother didn't pass until I was like, I think I was married.
Oh my god!
Yeah, then my great grandma, one great grandmother passed, and I was like probably 10. But the other one, I was married, like full grown when she passed.
Oh wow!
And, so I was with all my grandparents and all. So yeah, it was.
I love that. So your Thanksgiving must be like huge.
Yeah, girl, they be getting on my nerves. Jane, it was this is bringing us to the end of our interview. It has been a treat. You are so wonderful to talk to. You definitely have to come back because
I will definitely come back.
A treat to talk to. But before we ask the last question of the interview, let everybody know all things Jane Welsh, where they can contact you, where's your website, your social media handles, and where can they go and get your books.
Okay, so my website is jnwelsh.com. So you can just, do my name and you'll find me by my website. You can find me on Twitter, JN_Welsh. It's the same for Instagram and Facebook. You can find me at JN Welsh Books. And then you can find me on Goodreads as well, J.N. Welsh. Just search for J.N. Welsh. And I think that that's everything that I am on. You can find my books everywhere where books are sold, Amazon, and all other ebook stores or Barnes and Nobles as well. And yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right, awesome. All right, this is beautiful. Okay, last question.
Yes.
If you were writing a book about your life, what would the title be?
What would the title be?
What would the title be?
Oh my goodness.
What would the title be?
It has to be something that's really positive, like something like Bubbles and Snowflakes or something. I mean, a book about my life. My life has been like, my book has had some ups and downs. So like, it's kind of like ebbs and flows. So I would want something that had like movement in the title, like the waves of the waves of a Bronx child or something like that. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like something that would show like, you know, where I'm from, but also like where I've been like up and down. Like,
Okay.
That's a hard question. Let's see.
Let's make you think.
Come on, do it. It's still hard.
It's all good.
I love it.
I like Bubbles and what you said? Bubbles and Unicorn?
Snowflakes.
Bubbles and Snowflakes. That's what's up. Lord, Brown Book Series, please give a big round of applause for award-winning author J.N. Welsh. Hold on a second for me, Jay.
Bubbles and Snowflakes. I love that.
All right, hold on 1 second for me.
Okay.
All right, Brown Book Series. If you love that interview, and I know you did, please like, subscribe, and share. Okay, 6 o'clock Wednesdays. Y'all know y'all right here with me, the Brown Book Series. And at 7 o'clock, we go on over to Reese Ryan's channels for Authors Behind the Pages. Race is on from 7 to 8. With wonderful interviews over there. Y'all got to go over there and check it out, honey. And at 8 o'clock, we're going to cruise on over to Cruise Radio with Iris Boland for Iris Moments. All right. And don't make sure you check out Sarah McLean's Fated Mates podcast. It dropped today as well. What's up, Romance Wednesdays? That's just what we do. Make sure you go check out The Raw Experience. That's rawexperience.com. That is our Romance Readers and Writers Experience Expo that we're going to have next year in October. So tickets are on sale now. I'm going over there and register, honey, because they're telling me that these things going fast. Thank the Lord. But you do not want to miss it. All right. That's raw, RRAW, experience.com. It's your girl, Shay Baby. See you guys next week. Be blessed.
Open up your brown book, baby. It's for you, it's for us. The fantasies, no one can judge us, no one can judge us. This is for us. Open up your brown book, baby.